opportunities to kind of let you know what's going to happen this summer in Dallas so that you feel compelled to come and join us in the Biodome in Grapevine, Texas for the Agile Conference. And with me this morning is Stuart Young. Stuart, say hi to everybody.
Hi to everybody.
Stuart is a member of this community, very well known for the kind of things that are stuck on the wall behind him. When you meet people for the first time, how do you explain to them what you do?
I think the best way to describe it is visual storytelling. So among many other things, when it's in the context of the conferences, the idea is to visualize the thoughts, the ideas, the key outcomes and insights from the awesome talks and workshops on offer.
Okay, so if they're doing that, they're either like marking it with how they're drawing it or what they're seeing. There's some sort of connection there that makes it easier to like track back to that moment, right?
Absolutely, totally. I mean, a term that I came across, which I really quite like, is visual literacy. And that is that we navigate children's books using visual literacy before we learn to read and write. So this isn't just for people that, you know, like to draw. It's about how you obtain and express yourself. And it's just one form of communication. Okay.
So if you come to the conference, you'll see Stuart in the hall and you're going to want to go up and talk to him. But if you do, you're going to totally mess him up because he's deep in thought, figuring out how to like make all these things fit into the gigantic space. So when you're doing that, when you're creating those giant graphics, how do you figure out how to put it all in there? Because that's got to be one of the hardest parts.
So it's a good point. So it's all down to structure and it's all down to kind of trying to capture the key essence. So you can't capture every single thing that's said. So all you've got to do is think about what are those salient points and then sort of kind of structure it around that and think about what kind of narrative and what kind of flow would make sense if someone was to come and have a look. Okay. That's the idea.
And my understanding from some of the program team is that you're going to be offering like a special challenge to people when they come to this summer.
Well, this is it. I don't want it to look like an inclusive art. It's for everybody. You kind of, anyone has the opportunity to do this. And so what we're going to be doing this year, which is really exciting, is I'll be running a visual thinking session at the beginning to sort of give people the confidence to realize that they can draw, to generate ideas and solve problems and collaborate and share information. Okay. And sort of offering the opportunity for people to think visually. And then we're going to have a space, a graphic wall of where all different visuals can be added. So we can kind of have a look at those sort of different ways and those different interpretations of how, because, you know, you or me, Dave, we may go to a talk and get completely It's a three-step process of active listening, synthesizing, and then drawing. So to reduce any bias, it makes much more sense if there's more than just me holding a pen.
Okay. So collectively we'll have a more comprehensive understanding of what's going on. I was originally thinking it would be like there's this giant wall and here's the people that can draw. And then we have Shametown over here for people like me. But my understanding from knowing you and talking to you is that the fact that you have put in a lot more hours in developing the ability to draw the things that you draw than I have. I've put like no time into it. So I feel like I'm not good at it, but I haven't put in the time. So either way, our brains capture different things and the collective organization of all these things will help us understand a better view of what happened. We all have a different perspective.
No, totally. I think one of the key things I say to everybody that wants to think and draw visually is to keep it simple. You really don't need to have a degree in art or be sort of wandering around the streets with a sketchbook in your hand every day to be able to explore learning and in a visual way. I think it really is for everybody. And keeping it simple is the key thing. And of course, practice makes better, not perfect. So of course it helps. But there are a few tricks and a few hacks that I'll be sharing with people at the beginning of the conference. But a few hacks to share with people now is if you kind of struggle to draw something or think about how to draw something, go to Google, add the word icon, and then find something simple as a way of kind of identifying that thing. And if you draw something again and again and again, it becomes part of your muscle memory. So a few different tricks and tips along the way.
So things like the shapes behind you, like the diamond or different squares or pieces of paper with a shadow or whatever, they could start practicing some of that now.
Absolutely. There are some kind of simple shapes that you can use and you can reapply and sort of trying to and have a bit of a dance, have a bit of fun with exploring how you can use those things. The other thing that I think people forget is that you don't think you're thinking visually or applying things in a visual way, but to all the speakers and workshop facilitators that are going to be at the conference, no doubt they'll be exploring different templates, be it the business model canvas or a SWOT analysis or any other template that might be available. That's also encouraging people to kind of converge and to kind of be on the same page without actually drawing anything live. So I think it's misleading that you have to be drawing to think visually. And there's lots of ways in which you can explore things using a Post-it, moving things around, looking at structure, finding how things cluster. Lots of things.
All right. So I am somebody who's super nervous about drawing, but I'm going to join you. And what I will do, I'm going to be doing interviews all throughout the conference, podcast interviews while we're there. I'm going to draw a picture for every interview I do and see what happens with that. And it might be a little rough, but I will do it the best I can. So that's my challenge to everybody else. Try to get yourself to do it. And even if, like me, when Stuart and I started talking about this stuff, I would have said that I'm not a visual thinker. But then I realized that everything I was explaining to him was coming in terms of visual explanation. So when you say visual literacy, it's not just your ability to draw, it's how you process as well, right?
Yeah, and we've had a few opportunities to chat in the past. You come across different terms where there is such a thing called aphantasia, where you don't actually have the ability to think visually, but still, and it's known that a few animators in Pixar and so forth and Disney are known to have this condition, but it doesn't mean it doesn't mean that they can't. So I highly recommend looking at Creativity Inc. It's a really inspiring book. But there's proof that a lot of these amazing animators are known to have this condition where they can't see visually or think visually. But once they start to explore and see things and draw things and see patterns, then things start to emerge. So I think the beauty of all of this is diversity of thought, how we think, how we connect with things. So there's no rights, there's no wrongs. All I can say and promise to all of you is that my challenge won't be to try to be Dave's and do podcasts, but you can do the challenge of drawing.
I would challenge everybody to do podcasts while they're there, just little audio recordings of what they learn. That would be really cool. So you've been to this conference before. This is a question I'm asking everybody I do the interview with. It's a really hard week. I always tell people it takes me like at least a month to recover when I get home. What advice do you have for people who are either newcomers who don't know what to expect or have been once or twice and know, oh my God, this week is going to destroy me? Like, how can they survive the week intact?
Well, I like to call myself an anxious extrovert. So if you do see me, you'll see that I'm just this big bubble of just energy. But I also need times to kind of decompress and just chill. So I think for everybody, I think I get really excited about being back in person. And I'm sure that to all the people that are coming for the first time, you'll be incredibly excited, like a child in a toy shop, at all the people you can talk to and the talks on offer. But it's very overwhelming, and there's so much to choose from. But first of all, it's sort of there's a feel of FOMO because you can't see everything, which is why I hope that what Dave and myself will be doing visually and through these podcasts will help you to think that you can reflect on things afterwards. But what I would say is just take what you can, but make time for you. So whether that be going for a very early run or going
which you'll be doing,
which I may be doing, or what I will stupidly doing will be doing that. Plus what I'm going to say is having a late night drink. I'll fall asleep when I get home, but
I'll join you for that.
Find time for the corridor conversations. I would say that the corridor conversations are as exciting as the talks. Go and speak to the speakers afterwards. Try to make a connection with them, because speakers will love that you are passionate about what they've come up with, because it's a real journey for the speakers as well to be accepted and share their thoughts, their passions, their experiences. So connect with them, sit down, have a cup of tea or a beer and talk to them. So make time for yourself, make time for some rich conversations one-to-one, and enjoy, have fun, and draw.
Yeah. And if you do go running in Dallas in July, you want to go very early in the morning because it's going to be hot.
Maybe have a beer, then go for the run in the evening. Yeah.
All right, man. So if people want to get in touch with you before they get there, what's the best way to do it?
I'm sort of usually on LinkedIn throwing or posting something about product or visual storytelling or human skills. So feel free to connect with me at Stuart Young. I'm the one holding a pen in the picture, probably. Feel free to reach out and connect on Twitter, Stuart Live Art, Instagram. I'm not cool enough to do anything else. I'm getting old. Find me, and if you've got any questions, please do reach out, and I'd be delighted to respond. And look forward to hanging with you.
Cool. Yeah, me too, man. Yeah. So thank you very much, and everybody else. Hope to see you in Dallas.